Hi, what's going on guys? It's Almond. Welcome back to another Wizard101 video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the Storm Decathlon and how to farm stages 1 through 5. I know there hasn't been any updated guides on Decathlon, and people have been asking me to do Decathlon videos for a while now. So I was like, you know what? I can do like a farming method for this Decathlon because this one is really easy. And when I mean easy, you don't need treasure cards from the bazaar, because I feel like that's one issue that people are like dealing with whenever the Decathlon does come out, is people are always in the bazaar looking for treasure cards and doing all that. But for the setup that I'm doing, if you want to get the deck 5, which I always preface in every time I make a Decathlon video or anything that requires cheese, you need the 2-pip deck. And I can't say this enough. Any 2-pip deck from any Decathlon will work. And for that purpose, I recorded my runs, and I even am going to give you guys a deck setup for stages 1 through 5. You can just do in one attempt. So 1 credit, you can get stages 1 through 5 done easily. And just to prove it, I even have the deck and I have the footage to show that it's really easy to do so, because once you get deck 5, you get access to that 2-pip. Deck 4 doesn't give you that. Any Decathlete deck at deck 5 and above will give you 2 pips. So for that reasoning, I was like, you know what? Let's make a video about it. So first, let's talk about the deck setup. Pretty straightforward. So the deck that you want to have is, if it's the first time doing Decathlon and you have no prior experience, the best one to get honestly is the dartboard deck, and get a square socket. The reason why you want the dartboard deck compared to everything else is you get 4 extra sideboard copies. Now, you don't have to use this, right? You don't need the 4 extra cards, because the fact is that you have a lot of extra space to work with. Like, for example, you can use a burrower deck if you want to for the square socket. You can use a lot of decks that give a square socket and just use them, right? But for the purpose of this, I wanted to use like something that was like a little bit like very easy to get, pretty straightforward. So you want to get the Darkmoor deck, but burrower is just as fine, guys. It's just as fine. You can get this from General Lightbane. There's other decks that give a square socket, so that's your first thing that you want to get. But like I said, I am using the Darkmoor deck with a square socket, and I socketed on HP. The HP variant is going to be different depending on your school. Every school has their own HP square socket, and it's different depending on your school. So keep that in mind. But for death, it's 650, so we're going to use that as a reference. But same thing with burrower. Like I said, you can use either deck. When it comes to the actual deck setup, this is the deck setup you want to have for stages 1 through 5. And you're probably wondering, how do I get all these TCs? Well, first, what we got to do is go to Storm Decathlon, and let's teleport to the event, shall we? So once we teleport to the event, you can visit the librarian. Now, the cards that I showed in here, which is like fairies, cyclopses, minnows, storm shields, you can buy all these from this vendor. See right here, you can buy minnows, cyclopses, and then of course storm shields. Now, if you want to get Orther's TC, easiest way is just going to the Arcanum. The Arcanum librarian has Orther's TCs for you to buy. And then fairies you can just buy from here as well. Like if we quickly just check, fairies are here as well. Now, when it comes to the actual setup, the fairies are more of a safety net. So in case at one point you do start to like tank in health, you can use a fairy. You always have 3 fairies to use at any time. You also have 2 extra shields for this setup, so in case there is a scenario where you need a shield again, you have that option. And also you have 1 more Cyclops in your deck if you need to. Of course, if this was let's say I had a 36 card deck instead, so I would take out 4 cards. The 4 cards I would take out is, me personally, I would take out 1 fairy, I would take out the 2 shields, because if you know what you're doing, you don't need those shields personally, but that's just my opinion. So we took out those, and we can take out 1 more card. So I personally would take out the 1 Cyclops, because you can use a will cast. So if you are using a 36 card deck, this is something you would use in my opinion, right? If you know what you're doing and you know what to do, it's okay if you lose out on those 2 extra shields personally, because you have the pet. So now that we got the deck out the way, you guys know what deck to use, everything like that. Whenever you go to Decathlon, you want to go to the portal, of course, and you want to go to the event. Make sure you claim your credits every day, because if you miss a day, you lose out on 3 credits. I redeem the credits on all my characters in case for some option I want to do multiple attempts or multiple videos or anything like that. So always claim your credits every day. So like right now I'm at 11 credits because I've been claiming them, and I have wasted 1 credit already to show you guys the attempts. So now that we got the deck set up, what's the pet? Because a pet actually contributes a lot in Deckathalon. So this is the pet I was using for the purpose of the video. Logan gave me this setup for the pet, and I honestly have been liking this more than my other pet. Now, of course, if you do not have Maycast Storm Shield, it's not the end of the world. You can always get a pet that's just like this, where it has Sprite Queen instead of Storm Shield. Of course, this pet does have Willcast Kraken, it's just not unlocked. I can unlock it later if I need to. But it's the same setup. All it is that the fact is that I have, instead of Storm Shield, I have Sprite Queen. Now, when it comes to socket, there's many sockets you can use. If you're using damage or anything like that, that does not work. What you want to have on your pet is a Maycast. Maycast is ideal. You can get these jewels from like Kroger jewels. They're sometimes in the Scroll of Fortune. There's multiple ways of getting these. There's even like sometimes like Maycast Unicorn, I think was a socket at one point, or even Maycast Fairy. But just look for any type of socket. Right now, Bracefy is in the shop. Is that the worst thing in the world? Not the shop. It's in the scroll. Is that the worst thing in the world? No, I mean, you can still use this. It's just an extra Maycast if it's the only thing you have. You can use that. You can use D-Lands. But ideally, I think Pigsy would be the best option because, you know, it's another heal stacked up on everything. So there's that. And the pet does not matter. You can put these talents on any pet. Like if you wanted to have, like, for example, like an Oni, and you're like, oh, I want to have the Oni pet, but I want to have Deckathalon stats. You can do that. Right? The stats don't really matter. It's just the fact that you have to have the Maycast. Of course, the stats do contribute on like your happiness, because you want to make sure your pet is happy. The fact is because you're using that Willcast. Every time you use a Willcast, it uses happiness. So for that factor is that we have this pet. I mean, it does the job, whatever, but make sure you have a pet that has Frozen Kraken, right? And if you guys need a Deckathalon pet, I will try my best to be in the Discord and try to give out lens as much as I can, so keep that in mind. But there is other people I believe in the Discord that do have Deckathalon pets that you can always just snag. I'm pretty sure even if you know how to use the kiosk, you can get it from there as well. So now that you guys know the pet, you guys know the deck setup, let's look at the footage. So let me pull up the footage on my screen. Give me one moment. Now here's the footage I recorded for my run from last night, and this is the setup that I was using. You guys can see it's the exact same setup I recorded and everything like that. And I'm gonna give you guys the play-by-play, just so people don't get confused on what I'm supposed to do or anything like that. So I thought I would do the play-by-play just because you guys can get like the live, you know, reaction type thing. But I didn't want to like record my my actual like audio or whatever. So there's that. So first we go into the first fight. Now for the first fight, all you want to do is just use Cyclops. You don't have to shield, you don't have to use anything else. You can even use a Willcast if you want to, but that will require you to wait 2 more rounds, and you would get hit twice, because y'all would get hit with the Thunder Snake right here, and then I would get hit with the Thunder Snake again. So that's why, for that reasoning, I use Cyclops. But there is a chance of you fizzling. I think I did fizzle right here. Yes. So if you do fizzle, it's not the end of the world, right? What I should have done, I think what I did right here was I still used Cyclops, right? Because it's what you should do, right? Cyclops would have killed anyways. But now I'm in the scenario where I'm like, okay, well, I can use that Willcast, or I can use my Cyclops. For the purpose of the video, I did use my Cyclops. If I did power, I wanted to keep that in mind. But if you know what you're doing, I would have just used a Willcast and just straight up done that. Once you do that, that's the end of the fight, and we move on to the next fight. And you guys can see like a kill, whatever, and then we go into the next fight. Now here we are on fight number 2. Once you go through the door, now these middle fights are a little bit harder if you don't know what to do. So what you want to do here is you want to Cyclops one of them and use your Willcast to kill the other, which is pretty weird to say, right? You're probably like, Armin, how do I use these Willcasts? Because you've never seen this before, right? You're probably like wondering like, okay, I'm kind of like this is my new thing. I'm trying to understand how Willcasts work. This will be a prime example of what I'm going to do. Yes, I'm taking a lot of damage, but my pet did cast randomly, right? You're kind of relying on your pet, and your pet will eventually cast some heals over time. Increasing the stats on it will just be random. Now this happened. Okay, now a lot of people are gonna be confused. What the hell is that? Ignore that. That's on my Athame. If you have like a Maycast Athame socket or whatever, sometimes I can cast in Deckathalon. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but I don't benefit it from any sort of way. So every time you see that little Maycast aura, just ignore it. But yes, I use Cyclops to kill the Mander. You can kill whoever you want. I just kill the Mander because I just prefer it, because he's the new minion on this stage technically. So this is stage 1.2. That's how people name the stages. So you start off on like stage 1.1, this is 1.2, and then next fight is 1.3, and then we move on to 2.1. So that's how people name it. Luckily, my pet did cast a Storm Shield, so the Storm Shield is kind of clutch. It will randomly cast it. It's been pretty often. So this is where I use the will cast. I click on it, and then I click on the enemy, and then my pet will just go up, cast that spell, and just literally annihilate, which is good to see. So there's that. Stage 1.2, done. Easy. Hopefully you guys are getting the understanding of this now. We get our runes, we move on to the next stage. Now the next stage is the quote unquote what people call the boss stage. It's really not, but it's like the harder variant of the other two. So in this fight, what you want to do is do a shield, right? Because you don't want to take too much damage, right? Like let's say I didn't get some of these heals off, right? I would want a shield. I always want a shield here first and get that out of the way. Next thing I'm gonna do, oh, we got another Maycast. Ignore that. You already know this does not matter. I should have took off the Athame now that I know about it, but it's whatever. But yeah, now I just shield into a Cyclops, and the monk is basically dead, right? Now what you could do to preserve cards is always, if you don't want to hit right here with Cyclops, you can always just hit with your will cast. Like I had a shield on me, but I didn't want to take damage. So instead I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to use the Cyclops for the purpose of the video. But I could have just used the will cast right there. I could have passed one more round. Now that we finished stage 1, make sure to always buy your recipes. Always, always, always buy your recipes. You can buy the treasure card display if you want to. You can buy the treasure cards for the purpose of the video. I just bought them just to buy them, right? You do not have to if you don't want to, but ideally always, always buy the deck. Don't care. You need the deck. Okay, so now we go on to stage 2. So this is 2.1. All right, this is how you got to get in the memorization of how to like call out these stages. This stage, all I'm doing is I'm drawing for my Cyclops. Now that I have my Cyclops, I just pass, right? And I think what it does here is lightning bats. I could remember. Yeah, it does lightning bats. And then I get hit with something. But 275, it's okay. I don't mind it. But Pet coming in clutch and giving me a Storm Shield. Actually, no, this is, oh, it's a healing current actually. So I got a healing current. That's just as good. So I basically healed off the entire hit because I'm relying on Maycast. But at a certain point in the video, you guys will see that I did use Fairy. So right here, I killed the Cyclops. We can go on to the next stage. Kind of straightforward. So yeah, here we go. So Cyclops killed. I mean, I don't want to like spend too much time waiting on animation time, so I can just briefly, I don't want to turn this into like a 40-minute video breaking down all the fights. But right here in this middle fight, what you want to do is you want to shield. You want to Cyclops one of them, and then use your will cast to kill the other. Just so you don't want to waste your other like cards in your hand. So round 1, I did shield, right? And I know that they're shielding twice, or they're blading twice, and I'm just like, okay, who would I want to kill? Ideally, you want to kill the left one, right? But I was like struggling here. I was trying to do the math in my head. I was like, wait, does it even kill the left one? But I killed the right one, but then I realized how much damage it did, and then I was like, okay, well, I should have just hit the left one. It doesn't make that big of a difference. I mean, of course, the shock trooper is going to be a little bit more of a worry to get rid of. You want to get rid of him quick, but instead I hit the second one. But luckily I didn't get hit too hard from I think the shock trooper, so keep that in mind. But you can hit either of them, because I think this does like 370 or 390. I don't remember. Yeah, 391. So that would have killed the shock trooper if I'm being honest. But hey, I hit the second one, no biggie, and then I get hit with the storm shark, which is wary, right? But he was bladed, and I did have a shield on me. And I'm not too sure if I got a Maycast on here. I don't think I did. Yeah, no, my pet didn't Maycast. And then right here, I use my will cast to kill the shock trooper, and he's dead. Pretty straightforward. Pet goes up and kills. Not that bad. So you guys are getting a better understanding of how to do these fights. Now we move on to the next fight, which is the tarantula. Yeah. Same thing in this fight, but instead of using my Cyclops, all I do is just shield and I pass to get a will cast. So he does right here, he blades himself. And like, for example, if I was really low on HP right here, like let's say 400, 300, I can heal right here because I have a free turn. I could have healed right there. But instead I just passed because, hey, I don't have anything to worry about. I'm just going to let him hit me. So he hits me with Storm Shark, 136. And then I luckily get him make cast that has nothing to do with it. I really need to take off this jewel. So if you see this, just ignore it a bunch of times. Okay, but yeah, I got my Frozen Kraken and I pass. Very straightforward. And then this just straight up kills. Same process, goes up, and then it kills the enemy. On to the next stage. Oh, and also make sure you buy your deck. Stage 2 complete. Always, always, always buy it. Buy the deck. So, and then you don't have to buy the TCs if you don't want to. I just bought them for the purpose of the video. So, on to the next fight. So, we got the electric eel. Round 1, you want to do a shield. And be careful, I mean, now these guys have access to Storm Shark, I believe. Same thing on the middle stages. The middle stages, they have access to like another like 4 pip or something like that. But these guys have access to Storm Shark and Lightning Bats. So they hit with either or. But I got hit with Lightning Bats, so it is what it is. And then here we have another make cast. I'm not too sure if this is a shield. It's a healing current. Perfect. So I'm back at full HP again, right? I think I prefer this healing current more than the old healing current. Old healing current did like 10, 100, or 1,000. This one is always like a consecutive 385, and then you also get a hot for an overtime for like 3 to 5 rounds. But here we go, we kill with Frozen Kraken, straightforward. This fight's done. On to the next. You guys got that. Now we're on to the middle fight. We got the Thundercat and the eel again. So in this fight, you ideally want to do shield into a shield and then minnow the Thundercat and then use your will cast on the eel. So as you'll see, I do a shield. And there is sometimes where you can use those extra shields. You guys do remember that you have always on this setup, you will always have 2 shields that are extra that you can use at any point if you need to, right? If you're in like a dying situation, you really need to shield or you really need to heal, you always have those fairies, you always have a Cyclops, you always have those 2 extra shields to use at any point, right? So always keep that in mind when you're doing Deckathalon, or at least with this setup. I try to make this setup as like free to play possible, and Logan and Shabazz were able to help very much. So right here, I got a make cast Storm Shield, but right here, I would have passed. But since I got a make cast Storm Shield, I was like, you know what? I might as well just shield again if the off chance I do get hit. So I did shield again, right? So right here, I don't even think they stack, but I still did shield just for the purpose. And then right here, I think I did get hit, if I remember. Yeah, oh no. Oh, so I think it did disarm, but it didn't do it. But so now we're going to do will cast on the right, and we're going to use minnow on the left. So we're going to kill the Thundercat, and the Thundercat will be dead. And then of course we're going to be using our will cast Kraken to kill the enemy on the right. You'll see this again later in this video. So will casts are very important. It helps a lot in Deckathalon. So there's the Thundercat dead. My pet goes up, and then it's going to kill the Thunder Eel. Pretty straightforward. So that should help out. Crapton, this stage is annihilated. Boom. On to the next. So let's go over here to Dr. Dynamo. Now right here, I do a shield. Always start off with a shield. And then what we're going to do is in this fight, we're going to use a Cyclops and use my will cast. So he uses 3 pips to do Storm Shark. Ideally, since I already had a shield, I'm not going to take too much damage. All right, I took 117, and this is what it is. No make cast though. So right here, I just pass. I think I Cyclops. Yeah, I still Cyclops. So then in case if I need to, I can just, do something else next round. So like if I get a power pip, I could have healed next round, right? But it depends on my HP. Like right now, I have 763. I don't really think I need to heal. I feel like I'm in an okay state. But I did hit because I was like, okay, what if I get a power pip next round for some reason? And if I need to heal, it's good. So we hit with Cyclops. He puts a trap on me. And I think right here, I did get a power pip. So if I really wanted to, I could have healed right there. But I don't have to. So instead, I passed and used my will cast Kraken, got him out the way, and he's dead because he took a Cyclops and then he also took a Kraken. Now, if I did fizzle my Cyclops, what I would have just done is just use Cyclops next round. So always just try to pull for your next Cyclops. Pretty straightforward. Stage 3 is done. Now, remember, same thing as I always say, buy the Deckathalon deck, get that over with. And then if you really want to, buy all the treasure cards, whatever, if you need to. It was interesting to see that you can craft Rat Illusionist, but I was like, you know what, I might as well just buy them. You're not really going to use these treasure cards in Deckathalon, really, in my opinion, but I was like, you know what, I'll just buy it for the purpose of the video. Now we move on to stage 4.1. So we got the Thunder Main. So be careful. I think this is when you get the introduction to Kraken. So they all have Kraken, so you got to be careful. But we start off with a shield. Ideally, what you're going to do is shield, and then you're going to use Cyclops and use your will cast Kraken. Will cast Kraken will be nice and to do the finisher. So basically, we're repeating what we did in the last round. So I think right here, I think I just hit with the Cyclops, or do I just pass? Yeah, hit with the Cyclops. If the off chance I do fizzle, but since I didn't fizzle because I got the special event point, that's another way that you can tell if you don't fizzle. If you got the special event point, you know you didn't fizzle. But if you didn't get it, you fizzled. But of course, once you reach the cap, which is like 20 per day, then you won't be able to tell every time. But I mean, you'll know just by the animation. I mean, you'll find out. All I'm doing is just finding out like 2 seconds earlier, but it doesn't make a difference. So he hits when I have a shield, and he has a trap on me. So 168, I'm getting kind of low. So, and plus I'm not getting any heals yet. So this is where we're entering territory where I'm just like, okay, what do I do? But yeah, we use Frozen Kraken. He's dead. Very straightforward. But I am on low HP, so keep that in mind for the next fight. So now we go into the next fight. We got Thundermane and the Wise Kraken. So I think this is the scenario where I did use extra cards. I don't remember, but I know I did get kind of worried in this fight because I was like, okay, I don't want to die because of like I'm already kind of low, right? I'm at 595 health, and they're double bladed. So I'm just like, okay, what does Almond do here? What do I do? I think I did hit, if I remember, or I shielded, one or the other. So I was like, this is where I'm like debating. I'm like, do I just shield or do I hit? So sometimes you get these scenarios, but in my case, I just shielded again. So in this fight, ideally, you only want to use 2 shields, but depending how RNG goes, you can use a 3rd shield if you need to, right? Because you got those extra shields for a reason. But in my case, I shielded twice because I was like, okay, I don't want to get nuked. I really don't. And I think if I didn't shield here, I probably would have been dead if I remember, because yes, he did hit me with a shark, and this would have just killed me if I didn't shield. So like you gotta like know what to do in these scenarios. So like right there did 180, but if I didn't have a shield, I would have been dead. And then right here, I think my pet, what did it do? It gave me another storm shield. So there's that. And then right here, I'm like, okay, what do I do? What do I need to do? So I'm like, do I kill one of them or do I just, heal? But we use Frozen Kraken and Cyclops to get rid of the Kraken because I was like, I already have a shield on me. I should just honestly just kill him, get him out the way, and I can get an opportunity to heal if I need to. So there's the Kraken dead because will cast plus that, and now the only thing we have left is the Thundermane. Thundermane, you want to repeat the same process. So I want to pull another Cyclops and do the same exact thing where I use the will cast Kraken. But as you guys can see, I'm at low HP, right? So I'm kind of debating. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, do I want to heal this? But he blades. So I'm like, okay, I can either heal right now or I can shield again if I need to. But since I do have access to those like 3 or 4 pixies in my deck, I was like, you know what? This is a good time to heal because I'm really down bad on HP, because I can't always rely on my pet. The pet is clutch to have because, there's chances where I do get a heal off. But I was like, you know what? I really just needed to heal. So I already had a shield on me. But if I didn't get a Maycast shield, I would have just shielded right there. So I didn't have to do that, luckily. So yeah, he's double buffed and he hits with the shield or hits through the shield. But I don't think this does that much. Yeah, it does 213. And then I think my pet, what does it do? Is this healing current? Yeah, it gives me a healing current. So I'm back. That Storm Shark just did nothing, really, because I got to make cast heal. And then right here, I'm just like Cyclops, Frozen Kraken, boom. He is dead. Now, I know if I didn't get that heal, I'd be in a tough situation, but I could have healed in the next fight as well. So keep that in mind. But so Thundermane's dead, and we can move on to the next fight. We We got the supercharger. Dude, these names are wild. So in this fight, ideally I want to shield Cyclops and use my Willcast. So right here I'm trying to dig and I'm like, okay, wait, where is my Cyclops? I'm like looking for it. I'm like, okay, wait, I don't pull it. I'm like, okay, I only have 6 cards left in my deck. Okay, I'll just cycle, you know, because you want to cycle. You can't just like sit there and just pick a card and then be like, oh, I didn't find it next round. Ideally you want to make sure you're always cycling to pull the cards you want. Right here we get a Maycast, a Thame, whatever, my Maycast, a Thame. Ignore it. Doesn't do any benefit towards me. Okay, so I'm right here. I'm like, okay, where's my Cyclops? I need it. I need it. 2 cards left, and I just like, you know what? Let's just discard it. And then my Cyclops is right at the end. So I think right here, I'm pretty sure I hit with Cyclops unless I change my mind. Yeah, I hit with Cyclops. And I think I fizzled right here. No, I didn't fizzle. Okay. So we hit with Cyclops. Now, if I did fizzle right there, I could have just hit next round. Like I said, always got to keep yourself on the toes. So we hit with that. Pretty straightforward. That's 391. And then I think he hits me right here. I think he hits me with Kraken. No, he hits me with Storm Shark. Okay. So he hits me with Storm Shark. Threw a shield again. I don't know if I got any Maycast heals, because I don't remember what happens during this stage and the next stage. It was like late at night. Okay, so nothing happened. And then right here, I have the opportunity to heal myself if I need to. So like this is a scenario too, because I'm just using my Willcast. But since I got a Power Pip, if I was really low on HP, I could have healed right there. But keep in mind, I think I only have 2 fairies left because I've already used 1 early on. So I still have 2 fairies that are left over, and there's only 1 stage left. If you guys already know, we're already on stage 4. So we're zooming. Stage 4 is done. We get our rooms, everything like that. Talk to Kara. Buy your deck. Always, 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 always buy it. Get that over with. You can buy the housing items if you want. Up to you. It doesn't really matter. And then, yeah, I think I bought the treasure cards because like, why not? I mean, you can get Humongous Frog pretty easily. Subdue you can get really easily. They're not like only through the bazaar. You can get them through other sources. So we're on stage 5.1 towards the end of the video of Deckathalon. So we got the, what is it, Crackalope. So right here, you want to shield twice, use a minnow, and also use a Willcast. So this is where you start using minnows instead of Cyclopses because the amount of health that they have. So I think right here, what does it do? I tried using Disarm, but I don't have any blades on me, so it doesn't mean anything. So I literally just got a free round. So right here, I'm like kind of cycling for my minnow. I'm like, okay, where's my minnow? I have them, I'm good. Now I have the opportunity to shield myself again, which I did, right? Just in case, right? But if I already had a shield on me, I don't think I need a shield right here, but it's more of a backup in case if I do fizzle next round. Because let's say I fizzle my minnow, then I'm kind of forced to just like, you know, I have a wide open hit. So for that reasoning, I hit with my Frozen Kraken and my minnow this round, I'm pretty sure. So I was like, okay, I have a shield on me, it doesn't matter. And then boom. So we get that out of the way and we're set. Crackalope is dead, and then on to 5.2. So like I said earlier, like this Deckathalon is not that hard. Eventually, if people want me to, I can do stages 6 through 10 for like a separate video if people really want to defeat this Deckathalon, but it depends on the feedback I get. Obviously, if the Decathlon's already over, I'm not going to make a video on this till next year or the next time it comes out because it's on like on a rotation. So I just have to be quicker on these Deckathalon videos, but like you guys already know, I have so many videos to upload. I try my best. So we got the Electric Troll, and then we also have the, what is it? Yeah, the Crackalope again. So this is where I use Orthros. This is where you use that one Orthros in your deck. This is exactly where you use it. So I start off by shielding myself because it's always what you do. I mean, like, it's just once you get to the higher stages, like stages like 3, 4, and 5, you always just start off by shielding. So I get hit with the Kraken. Now, of course, if they both just Kraken me right there, I probably could have been just dead. Luckily, my pet did heal me. I think he healed me again. Yeah, this is like sometimes you can get double heals, which is interesting. So my pet healed me twice, which I love it. I love that. So we got that back to full HP, and I think I did get hit with, what did I get hit with right here? Storm Shark. Now, if I didn't get any heals right here, I probably would have been dead, right? But I got super heal reliant on my pet. Now, of course, in that previous match where like that was a 5.1, I could have healed if I needed to, right? But I was at basically like near half, like full HP, so I didn't need to. So it's round 2. I am shielding once again, getting it over with. And then they're both low on pip, so I'm like not too worried. So they're probably just going to be trapping me or disarming me or blading each other. Once they're like at low pips, that's just what they do, right? So now this is where I'm just like, okay, I need a frozen crack in one of them and then shield again, because you're trying to build up your pips to 7, right? So for this scenario, I'm like, okay, it's my opportunity to get a shield. Ideally, you want to will cast both of them once. Don't will cast the same one twice, because you'll lose so much value from that. So once you will cast one of them, you want to will cast the other one with the Kraken. So basically you're hitting them both with Kraken, just one at a time, because once you use your Orthoris, that will just straight up just kill them. So that's the plan in this stage essentially. So right here, even though I have 2 shields on me, I have nothing to worry about, because like, hey, he hit me with the shark, I have 2 shields on me, and I still have a healing overtime on me, which is just perfect. And then what happens right here? I think I get another heal. Yeah, I get another heal. So basically that shark meant nothing. So it is like lovely. We love the pet. We love the healing pets. Like I said, Maycast pets are just so good in Deckathalon. So now I'm like, okay, I need a shield again, because honestly in this fight you're gonna be shielding at least 3 times. So I'm just like, okay, I need a shield once more, because hey, if I do fizzle my Orthoris, I do want to make sure I at least have a shield on me as backup. So for that reasoning is we're gonna shield again. Now I think next round I do use my Orthoris. I don't quite remember, but I think I did use my Orthoris in this next this upcoming round, because I'm at, what is it, I think I'm at 6 pips right here. I can barely tell with my character. Yeah, and then now I'm at 7, so I'm like, okay, I can just Orthoris and then just kill the guy on the left. Now this is a risky move, right? Because if I did fizzle my Orthoris, it would have been over, right? Because they could just hit me twice or do something, right? He could have done a trap and then the other person could have done some damage, whatever. So this was a risky move by me. Me personally, I probably would have shielded if I needed to, but still, like, you got to put out your Orthoris, you got to kill one of them. So since I did use my Willcast Kraken on the left guy, and then I did use my Orthoris this round, it killed him. So now this next round, all I do is just use Willcast Kraken, and then the Crackalope is dead. Now this, if you did get a power pip right here and I was really low on HP, I could have healed. There's other options I could do, but like if you don't need any of that right now, you can just straight up just pass and use Frozen Kraken and get it over with. There you go, 5.2 done. This is all in one attempt too, so I'm literally using like a free-to-play setup. So I didn't even use a Deckathalon deck or anything like that. You guys saw my deck. I was literally using a normal deck that does not give me any stats other than just health. So with the introduction of these square jewels, it just makes it so much more easier. Now we got the Mantis. We start off with shielding. We're already low on cards, but ideally what we're going to do is like shield like at least 3 times in this fight, and then use a will cast and kill with the minnow. Now I do have a Cyclops in my deck left, because you guys did keep in mind that I did tell you at the beginning of the video, I do have some extra cards in my deck. So it's good to have it for that reasoning. So I get hit with Kraken. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to shield again. Literally, I'm just going to shield again. Get it over with and get that out of the way. Now, the Mantis just blades here, if I remember. Yeah, just blades. And then I get my Maycast aura from my Thame. Ignore it. Just ignore it. Pretend that wasn't even casting. I should have took it off. So right here, I think I do Minnow and Willcast Kraken, if I remember, because I already had a shield on me. So I was just like, okay, let me just Minnow and Willcast Kraken, boom, right? And then in case if I did fizzle my Minnow, I did have a shield on me already, right? In case the Mantis for some reason hit me, but it wasted all of its pips. So yeah, and I think it dies by Willcast Kraken, if I remember. So Willcast Kraken just carries, dude. It just really carries. So we got that out of the way, and pretty straightforward. I think this is the end of stage 5, and that's it, right? Yep, Kraken's dead. Or not Kraken, the Mantis is dead. And then we move on. Look, stage 5 complete, guys. It's that easy. It's really just that easy. And then remember to talk to Kara, buy your Deckathalon deck. Now you just want to keep farming stages 1 through 5. So with the setup that I gave you, keep farming these stages over and over. If you have to, do it on multiple characters so you guys can farm those runes, because if you're a new player, you're not going to have all these runes. All my runes are in my shared bank, so it's a little bit different for me. But if you're a new player, you're going to just keep farming stages 1 through 5. You want that Decathalon deck 5 at least, especially for Scald and Incendiate. I will always be an advocate. So I think right here I realized I'm like, okay, I have some extra cards. You know what? As like a bonus for this video, you wouldn't do this, but since I had some extra cards, I was like, you know what? Let's do 6.1. Just for the, like, you know, I have some cards left. I think I could beat it. So I think I was like, okay, I shield, because you always got a shield right here, right? I'm using all the extra cards I have. So like if you have extra cards, honestly, you can do 6.1. Like I have all these extra shields. So I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna hit with Cyclops because I don't have any other hits. And then the rest of the match, I just use my pet. I literally just use my pet. Now, if I was really low on HP, I probably would not have won this fight. But I was like what, 863? Like, dude, I can definitely win this. It's winnable. And I want the extra drops. That's how I treat it. This is just like an extra drops round. And it's like, the guy looks literally like the Shababa Elemental model. I like the Storm one though. The Storm looks kind of nice. So yeah, here we use Willcast Kraken. I'm like, okay, gotta get some damage out, and I just pass because I already had a shield on me. If I needed to heal, I could have healed right there, but I had a shield on me. I don't have anything to worry about. And from what I've been told is that you also get hit with like Storm Hounds in this fight. So if I needed to, I could just shield again. I should have shielded right there again, because who knows, I would have got hit with the Storm Hound. This guy's just getting so many pips. And then he used Disarm, useless. And then right here, I'm like, okay, I should probably shield again just in case, because he's sitting on max pips. Kind of a bit scared. So I shield again, and I think he just disarms me again. Oh no, he hit me with Kraken finally, so he did an actual hit. So here we get hit by Kraken. I don't think it does that much HP to me, because yeah, 68. Yeah, 200, not bad. My pet doesn't heal, it's okay. Right here, I could have healed because I already had a shield on me, or I can just shield again. And right here, I was like, you know what? I have some pips, might as well heal, right? Because I have some extra fairies, might as well use them. So we're back at like 1000 HP, which is like, these square sockets are just crazy. Yeah, so we're at 1.1. And then right here, I think it blades itself. Yeah, it does an accuracy blade, and I was like, all right, I already won this fight. It's over. Just use Willcast Kraken, GG. Because you can use Willcast Kraken up to 3 times in a fight. So that was my second Kraken, and I won because of it. Pretty straightforward. And there's that. So that is it basically for the video. You do not have to do this extra stage. I should preface this, you do not. I did it because I had the extra runs, so I was like, you know what, might as well, I have the extra cards, might as well get some extra points, 5 extra points, why not? And also make sure you guys are collecting these event rewards. You want to get that hamster, of course, too. That hamster is godlike. So if you just keep doing all your runs on stages 1 through 5, you'll get the hamster like nothing. And then once you're done, just leave the tower and basically reset, get your cards again, and you're ready to go. So pretty straightforward. Look at all this. I'm at 80. I got 82 points off that one run. I think I got 81 if I'm being actual, because I did have 1 point beforehand. I don't know why, but I also did get my treasure card points as well. So if you just keep doing this over and over, you'll eventually get that hamster pretty easily, right? You want to get that hamster. The hamster is really nice to have. And yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully the deck setup does help you. I really hope you guys get that Deckathalon deck 5. I pray. Deck 5. If you don't, like, if I'm new to Deckathalon, just at least get a deck 5, at least, so you can do Scald and Incendiate, and then you guys can do the cheese strats, you can do all that stuff. So you want to have it, you really do. And it's just so nice. It's really so nice. I'm always gonna preface getting a Deckathalon deck, and who knows, maybe next Deckathalon I'll do the same type of video if you guys want me to, doing the ice stages 1 through 5, and then maybe down the line I'll have like a whole video collage of Deckathalon for stages 1 through 5 for every Deckathalon, you know. But it might require like a lot more stuff. So that is it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all type of stuff. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. If you guys need help or you need a pet or something like that, let me know in the Discord and I'll try my best. But yeah, that is it, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.